Hello and welcome to Middle Age Geeks, the podcast where we review movies, discuss what's going on in video gaming and entertainment world. My name is Phil. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Daz. Daz, how the hell are you?
I'm very good, man. Very good indeed. Looking forward to this episode. Some nice, interesting news and a nice movie review. Again, we're kind of on a roll with
Yeah,
semi-decent to fun to great movies. Yeah.
yeah, we
How are you
actually
doing?
are. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, last week's one I wasn't like really too much of a great movie, but
Mm.
still watchable.
Mm.
Um, but
Watchable, that's the word. Yeah.
yeah, watchable. Yeah. There hasn't been the ones that we completely rip to shreds and take the piss out
Mm.
of where we kind of go, there's nothing really cool here at all.
Yeah,
We've
we'll
kind of
find
haven't
one
done one
next
of
week.
those in a while. Yeah. But yeah, no, like pretty good, pretty good. I'm looking forward to as well getting into to this week's episode. So yeah, before we kind of crack in and go through the review this week, which is going to be A Quiet Place, day one, which Daz will be taking us through. We're going to start off, as always, by talking about some gaming and video game news and stuff like that. Daz, is there anything that's been in the news for you this week?
Yeah, well, firstly, what we've talked about in the last few episodes, Inside Out 2 and its box office doing really well for an animated movie and for just cinema in general, has been the fastest animated movie to make $1 billion, which
Shit.
which is quite astonishing. And yeah, it's to say it's crushing the box office is an understatement. It's just great to see people actually going out to see movies after so many lackluster performances box office wise by really, really good movies. And I still haven't seen Inside Out 2. And actually, my wife and daughter are downstairs watching Inside Out, first one now, for the first time. And just like, I'm crying even thinking of it. I know I go down after this podcast and she'll be in fucking bits. And I'm talking about my wife here, not my daughter. But yeah, it's just a really good story. And the other, probably the most interesting thing that I watched actually this week was the new Penguin trailer, which I know you were just watching there earlier on. That actually, yeah, came out about a week ago, just after we recorded last time. And this trailer looks absolutely fucking amazing. I mean, this series has gone from me being quite hyped on it based on just the character from the Batman. I was like, oh, I like Colin Farrell, I like what he's doing, and his performance is great. To the first trailer and kind of going, okay, this looks like it's reaching the same kind of lofty heights as the Batman in terms of the story and the visuals and all that. But then this particular trailer dropped, and it looks like it could be one of the best fucking TV shows of all time. I know it's just a trailer, like, but fuck me, it's just like wow.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Oh yeah, man, totally on board. Same as you. It looks absolutely incredible, man. I'm just blown away again. And the cast as well. Like, I'll fucking watch anything with Clancy Brown in it. Like, but
Yeah.
I'm dying to see what Colin Farrell does now with the expanded role. But I think that's
Absolutely.
because you remember, like we all watch, read Batman and watch Batman comics and TV show when we were younger, and it's just they make him out as this character, as the big huge nose and the top hat, and everything's really
Such a caricature.
yeah. Whereas this is just it just happens to be his street name, in it. Like he's not because he looks or acts like a penguin.
Like a penguin.
Yeah.
Or
it's
is half
just,
penguin.
Yeah, it's just it's just like like he's the fucking general or whatever, and it looks amazing. The cast looks great. The
Cast is amazing.
Still has that Christine Melody and stuff, and it looks so fucking gritty as well. The shots, you get the aerial shots and stuff of Gotham City, and it just looks really fucking gritty.
And the way they show scenes from the end of the Batman. It seems like, I thought it was going to be a year later. It seems like this takes place pretty much directly after the Batman movie, where the Penguin is making moves to kind of get in there and gain control of Gotham. And like for me, like I don't really watch too much of the comic book TV series kind of spin-offs and stuff like that, which I don't know really, to be honest, why, but this is one that straight away I'm just like, oh my god, day one, like I'll be all over this. It just looks like a really good crime series, like mafia crime series, like gives you Soprano vibes almost. And it just happens to feature or to be in a city with a crazy bat character, which who knows if he'll turn up or not. But yeah, my hype level has gone up leaps and bounds for this. Yeah, 1000%. How about yourself? Any decent news?
Yeah, little bit. Like I like yourself went to see for the Quiet Place Part 2, the latest trailer for Smile 2, which I'm looking forward to. It's gas. Like I was kind of looking at it thinking, oh, this is one we could do. Myself and Daz could do, but then just at the very end of the trailer, there's a creepy kid. I was like, no, that's it. That's Daz is out. Forget it.
That scared the shit out of me. Yeah, that was more scary than A Quiet Place. That 2 minutes of Smile 2, I was just like, I just purposely find something to do. Like, oh, I'm just gonna open this bag of jelly so I don't have to look at the screen, and just eyes down, just terrified. Like, don't want to look at the screen. And I look back up and there's that little creepy kid. Fucking not a chance. Yeah, I didn't see the first one. Is the first one decent? That made a lot of money, right?
Yeah, first one's good, and it's that's the thing about horror movies now. It's when it's so difficult to get a really good one or something really original or new. So I kind of really latch onto them when they do happen. Like It Follows or Sinister and stuff when they came out. And the thing is that the sequel to Sinister was terrible, but but this first one was great, and this was like loved by both critics and audiences, which is a nice change. So this is definitely one I'm looking forward to. Even if we don't do it on the podcast, it's one I'm very much looking forward to going to see. And the other thing is a little bit of a callback to something you had brought up last week, Daz, which was around the Blade movie. And we were talking about like what the fuck is happening. Yeah. Well, it was just like about what is happening with the movie, and it was interesting to see Mia Goth being cast as the main villain in Blade, and I think Mia Goth's fantastic. That her performances in that Ty West trilogy, the latest one is out soon, Maxine, are fantastic. She's just a great actress. But it's one of her quotes saying they really care, they really want to make a great movie, and that's the sense I get from them. I'm like, do they?
What are you talking about? They don't even have a fucking script.
Yeah, I was like, what have they said to you? Like, is there someone holding a family member hostage and make you say these things? Like,
it's such a PC don't rustle any feathers quote that just means absolutely fucking nothing. Just like they don't have a director, they keep losing directors. The fucking actors don't know what the fuck is going on. It's been 5 years since they announced it, and they still don't have a finished script. It's like, Jesus Christ, this is just I think that movie's just a sign of where Marvel is, just meandering fucking off into the nothingness. Like,
I'm pretty much hanging all my hopes on Deadpool, Wolverine, and the Fantastic Four movies. I'm hoping that first of all, Deadpool and Wolverine can reset a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? We can kind of maybe we can start getting some good shit again after that. But then we've got the Fantastic Four is going to be set in the 60s. It's separate from all the other junk that's going on. So I'm hoping the fact that it can be really standalone, doesn't have to try and tie into any of the other movies, really.
Which would be great. No, it will no doubt in time. It'll just be
of course
time jump multiverse or some shit.
100%. Yeah, if it does well, they'll want them in the present, interacting with all our current heroes. But I love the cast for that as well, so I'm looking forward to it. But no, that's like it's been a fairly slow news week with regards to stuff that I found interesting. Well, look, with that part of the show out of the way, why don't we move on then to what we've been playing and watching? So, Daz, why don't you let us know what you've been getting into this week?
But mainly gaming this week. Haven't watched too much. The first thing I tried, I don't know how I kind of got onto this, but I was just searching through the PlayStation Store for something and saw Star Trek Online, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, did I start that before? And I couldn't remember. I said, I'll give it a go. I don't know when this thing came out, like 2012 or 13 or something like that. So I'll just give it a go. I was thinking about open world games. I think it was maybe watching the Star Wars Outlaws gameplay. And kind of going, oh, fucking, I'd love like a Star Trek game like this. I'd love to because I'm more Star Trek than Star Wars, but just love an open world where, a captain and go off in your ship and do stuff. And then I heard people saying Star Trek Online is, pretty decent, and varying reviews. Some people saying it's utter fucking nonsense, and other people going, it's fucking brilliant. So as a massive Star Trek fan, sometimes you can rose tinted glasses go on and you can paint over the cracks. But yeah, that open world, beautiful Star Trek game. This is not. it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's so clunky, and the ship combat is kind of interesting, but then you don't really know what the fuck is going on. Um, yeah, it's a free to play game that is struggling to keep up with what it needs to do in terms of graphical fidelity and running smoothly. It's just fucking hell. It's the choppiest game I've ever played in my life. Like, the visuals are appalling. they're just appalling. It's yeah, it's like PS fucking 2, PS3 graphics. But it's a shame because universes are there, or the Star Trek universe is so rich with fucking mad characters and stories and worlds, and like Star Wars, the lore is fucking yeah, is fantastic. And playing this makes me want a Star Wars Outlaws game in the Star Trek universe. But so yeah, I played that for about. I played it far longer than I should have, about like 3 or 4 hours. Just going like, this isn't getting
Just
any
because it's
better.
Star Trek.
Yeah, just like, oh,
Yeah.
another ship. Just like, this is awful. And then after that kind of travesty, I was looking through the PlayStation Plus just catalog just to see what was kind of free in the monthly games or something like that, and came across something called Deliver Us the Moon, which
Okay.
quick search, and it was just like, oh, on Steam, it was on, it was a PC and Steam. It got 9 out of 10. I was like, oh, I'll give this a go. And I don't know if I've talked about this, the brilliant website before,
All
howlongtobeat.com.
right. Yeah.
So, if you see an indie game or
Gives
something,
you a
just like,
campaign
oh,
link.
check
Like,
it. Yeah, and it gives you like 5 to 6 hours. Like, well, fucking sweet. Do that, and it's kind of a space exploration narrative game where Earth's tried and tested kind of formula. Earth has been depleted of its natural resources, and people have set up something on the moon to mine some magical new ore or something like that, and then the energy has stopped being transferred. The energy from the moon is transferred via this big satellite dish, energy transfer dish or some shit like that. So yeah, and the Earth has gone to shit, and they've shut down all the space program and everything. And one bold hero, myself, gets a chance to launch a final rocket to the moon just to see what's going on. And it's third person kind of. There's no real action. It's just kind of a narrative. Yeah, not so much a walking simulator, but narrative simulator. And it's a super game with great puzzles, and there's an excellent feel of being moonbound. There's times when you're outside
yeah.
on the moon or inside facilities and just trying to figure out what's going on. The story is actually quite engaging with a nice payoff, poignant payoff at the end. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it grabbed me. I played it in one entire sitting, just up until 3 a.m. It's just like, this is fucking, I really enjoyed that. So it's it's on PlayStation Plus at the moment. If anyone wants to kill 4 or 5 hours, it's a good crack. But you can't skip the end credits, which go on for a long time. And I just like, I want to know what happens after. And there is a little post-credit sequence, but we just gotta sit there. And if you don't sit there, someone said online, you don't see that, it just finishes in that scene and goes back to the main menu. So
You have to.
yeah, it's fucking 9 minutes long. It's
You probably could have gone on YouTube and just found it. Like,
absolutely, yeah. I was thinking that afterwards. Just like, I don't need to be sitting here. But yeah, that was a really nice surprise treat. Because most of my games of the year, this wouldn't be one of them, but most of the best experiences gaming this year that we've talked about have been these kind of smaller indie kind of games, which is fantastic. What I've watched is about 6 minutes of The Acolyte, and just no, man, just can't. As short as they are, it's like it's only fucking like 25 minutes or whatever. About 3 or 4 minutes in, and you showed me a clip of some fucking chick tearing off her dreadlocks with a lightsaber and looking up to the heavens. Like, and again, it's like just it's a show with just drama students being dramatic. Just like, I'm going to do something that looks super cool, and give you that look down, the blink, and the look up into camera, and just going, oh my god, what's happening here? So yeah, but 6 minutes in, and literally when I turned it off, I said, fuck that shit. Just no. What are you doing? You've better things to do. Just go for a walk or just cook. Yeah, fucking do something. Learn to juggle. Like anything. Just, my God. What about yourself? You have
Me
have
on the other hand, I have been hate watching it. Like the latest episode, episode 5, episode 4 and 5 were very obviously shot in a way they were definitely one episode. This was cut in half. There's no way to you're looking at it and going, hang on a second. There was no reason to end it where they ended it. It wasn't really a proper cliffhanger. It was just, it and you get the feel of where it picks up. I'm like, that's the way this is cut. This had to have been one episode that they decided to split in half, and they just did it arseways. Yeah. But the fifth episode is the least bad, episode, just because it's mostly there's just lots of action in it, and even though some of the action is fucking terrible, it's still the most action heavy one where I don't have to listen to the fucking terrible dialogue. Yeah, the terrible dialogue that's in it. You don't have to listen to that. But then there's some people getting killed who I wasn't expecting to get killed, and there's a reveal that I'd seen coming, a few episodes ago. But it's not surprising. It's not shocking in any way. It's not really worth the watch. But at this point, I've already watched 5, so I'm just going to keep on going. And each week I'll be reporting back about just how many more hours this has taken off my soul and my life. It's terrible. It's the worst. It's probably the worst thing that Star Wars have done. It's worse than Jar Jar Binks. It's awful.
That's a damning indictment.
Yeah. And then actually, I haven't watched a massive amount or played a massive amount because I've again been watching the football. But I did just realize this weekend I was like, fuck man, I have not sat down and had a proper gaming session on a new game for ages. I've been picking up older games and playing through them. So I downloaded just this morning the Alan Wake DLC.
Oh,
so
nice.
I haven't started it yet. So I'm hoping tomorrow evening, if I have some time, I'm going to get stuck into it because that should be great. It's got some characters from the Remedy kind of universe, Alan Wake universe. So I definitely want to get stuck into that. But that's kind of where I am. Right, well look, with that stuff out of the way, what we'll do now is we'll move on to our movie review.
Okay, so this week we are reviewing A Quiet Place Day 1. And it's a movie directed by Michael Sarnowski, written by Michael Sarnowski, John Krasinski, and Brian Woods. I'm not up to date with any of the director's work. Are you? Yeah, he directed Pig. That's the only thing I saw that I kind of noticed.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the Nicolas Cage one, but I don't really know a lot of his work now.
Yeah, it stars Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn. It has a budget of $67 million, and it was just released this weekend, so I don't really know how much it is making at the moment. But it is a very tasty and brief 1 hour 40 minutes long, which was perfect in my eyes. I know the first Quiet Place was like 17 million and made 300 or 400. I think the sequel is around 50 million and made similar amount. So this, with a budget of 67, it'd be interesting to see what it does at the box office. The basic plot is Lupita Nyong'o plays Sam, who is on a day trip to New York when marauding aliens crash land across the earth. Along with fellow survivor Eric, she tries to navigate the silent new world. And to anyone who's seen the first 2 movies, would have been excited to see what happened on day 1 and how mad it was to see these things crash out of the sky. So first, I guess, to any new listeners, the way we do this is we'll just give our spoiler-free review first and then delve into some more spoilerific aspects of the movie. So for me, I really enjoyed this movie. I was looking forward to it. I don't think my expectations were too high because being kind of a spin-off, when it was announced straight away, you're kind of going, oh yeah, but there is a bit of trepidation with the fact that you're going away from the post-apocalyptic setting and the Abbott family and all that. I thought the 2 leads were excellent, especially Lupita Nyong'o. Her eyes are meant for horror. She's fucking fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed watching both of them on screen. I thought it started pretty strong, and apart from a few bland moments in the second half, mainly involving a cat, which we'll get into, it has a really lovely pace to it, taking its time to make Sam's kind of journey in the last third hit home. Thought it looked really good. Great use of the budget. Um, that whole stay quiet, make a sound quiet formula is definitely feeling a little repetitive in the series as a whole. It definitely in the second movie a little bit, and it loses its freshness a bit towards, in the second half of the movie. I thought some of the creature scenes just, didn't really work for me, but at the heart of it all, I don't think the movie's about them. It's I thought it was just a very unexpectedly tender and moving story of kind of the beginning of the end of the beginning. I would say it's actually even like it's a wonderful kind of character drama that just happens to feature alien creatures. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I'll probably give it like 4 stars. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'd echo a lot of what you're saying. Des. Like, I think that for me, I love the first ones, and I love it. I love a good creature feature, but this, it was so much more to do with their relationship and their journey. And there's some absolutely beautiful moments. I loved the chemistry between them. We'll go through it into this. We will talk about some of the really touching scenes as we go on. But yeah, it's so just about their journey. And I thought as well, the budget was spent well, because you're thinking this is going to be carnage throughout the city of New York, but they just show how quickly it all got fucking torn apart and ripped apart. It didn't have to. It wasn't a slog of a week long while they're battling back these things, that they really get into it. We'll keep obviously more of that for the actual spoiler section, but I thought the budget was well spent. Thought it looked great. Loved the performances. It's I think I would agree with you that the stay quiet kind of thing, it is getting a little tiny bit old.
And the rules are a bit skewed here as well. I mean, in the first movie, it's just like, don't make a fucking sound, all right? And you're just going, that's fucking terrifying. But there are moments in this, and we'll get them into spoiler, but there are moments in this where there's a disparity in the amount of sound that triggers an absolute insta-kill. You know what I mean? Somebody just like makes a tiny sound and someone just, alien comes out of nowhere and rips them off the ground. And other times people are walking and making quite a lot of ambient noise, and there's, odd. But really enjoyed it.
I'd probably go, somewhere between maybe 3.5 and 4 stars myself, but I'd definitely recommend it. It's while it's not incredible, it's still very good, and it's just some really beautiful moments and just great performances. She is incredible, and it's great. This is the first feature film I've seen Joseph Quinn in.
Yeah, I don't seen him in Stranger Things. Yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah,
I didn't see him in that.
And I hadn't seen him in anything else. So this was great for me to see him in that role, and thought he was brilliant. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting into the spoilered section.
Okay, so we'll get into the spoiler bits and bobs then. The movie begins with a shot of Manhattan and the ominous text over it saying that New York gives off 90 decibels of sound, which is the volume of a constant scream. Just like, ooh, kind of spooky, kind of pointless, but spooky nonetheless. But then we shift to a hospice where we meet our main character Sam, played by Lupita Nyong'o. And we find out obviously very quickly, she's terminally ill with cancer, and she's in like a group meeting, and she's showing her kind of humorous side. She's reading one of her poems, talking about how everything is so fucking shit. It's really good introduction to her, and it's a nice dynamic she has with her nurse, Ruben.
Did you know? Doesn't he look so different?
Yeah,
Alex Wolff.
Couldn't believe it.
I saw the face there. I was like, what do I fucking know him? I was like, I can't tell exactly who it was. And I was like, hang on a second, is that Alex Wolff? And I just looked at IMDb. I was like, it fucking is.
Check it in the movie. Yeah, I was just like, holy fuck, is this? He's all bearded up.
He's he's fucking. I loved him. I thought he was great for the role that he had in this. So he was really, really good. And it was like you said, it was. It's such a patient kind of thing that you would expect a nurse in hospice to be. That real, you understand what the people are saying in there are just. It's not you they're angry with, and he takes. It's just this loving, caring for people and their final days. But, I loved it. I just thought he played it really well. I loved their kind of back and forths between them. Really good.
And he's so believable as a nurse.
Yeah.
They just have a lovely little... It's nice, like, that a lovely little chemistry in the short time, obviously, that they have together. But yeah, we are also introduced to her cat Frodo, which he looks like a cat, but this cat doesn't act like a cat at all. He's not a cat. Like it, we'll get into that. It's fucking madness. But we get introduced.
I do enjoy that it's Sam and Frodo. I mean, that's
that is quite brilliant. Yeah. But she, we get a few important bits of information where she's, we see her putting on her patch, a transdermal patch, and that she needs her medication, all this stuff, and she's fond of listening to music on her iPod. And I love the retro iPod. Who I was trying to guess what year that must make it, like 2003 or 4 or something like that.
iPod Nano? Oh no, that was a Nano, so like...
Is it Nano 2006, 2007 or something?
Yeah, probably.
It's cool. It just looks so fucking cool. It's just like re-release those motherfuckers, man. They're so look great. But so then we skip forward then a little bit, and they all go on a trip to the city to on a bus to the city to see a puppet show. And even that little scene with when they see the puppet show, it's a lovely like, I love to see a puppet show when you're watching it. The puppet's fucking really, really cool. The puppet is floating away.
Oh, that was amazing. The marionette thing.
Yeah, it's just so...
And there's the music too. It was beautiful. Like, it was for something that was
emotional.
So... yeah, like, it was just... It's such a small little scene. Like, your man comes out. It was really awkward because he's this old dude and he shuffles out with a suitcase. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, is this supposed to be... And it felt awkward to me. I was like, oh God, is this going to be one of these things where everybody's gone, oh, hurry up or get it over with, or, the jokes aren't landing. And then he puts on this beautiful thing with this marionette of a boy blowing a balloon and then floating around with it, and the music is gorgeous, and the camera panning around it is gorgeous. I was like, wow, this is fucking class.
We're fucking 7 minutes in and just going, oh man. Like, as you were saying a few times before with directors, where they just, when they get it right in the edit room, and it doesn't take them 90 minutes to make you feel a scene, not so much cry or whatever, but you just like, there's a nuance at work here that is I just believe straight away after about 7 minutes that this film might make me cry, or they're going to do something. But she gets a bit emotional and leaves the theater. At this point, she's outside, and we get a glimpse of kind of, in the background, things are maybe happening. There's people on phones looking around. There's kind of cops, people looking up in the sky and stuff. And there's a few helicopters around. You're just like, ooh, what might be happening? Something is amiss. And Ruben, the nurse, was telling her, look, she wanted to get pizza, which we find out is an important thing. She wanted to get pizza in the city for a specific reason. But Ruben says, no, look, we can't. We've been told we need to get out of the city. And they have a little, not so much an argy-bargy, but she's... she says, he says to her, like, I'm your friend. She's like, you're not my friend, you're a nurse. And it's like, oh, it's a bit cold. And you're going, oh my God.
You can see it in her face straight away, the regret for saying it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God. And then from that moment, we start to hear, alarm sirens going off in the background now, and they all get onto the back of the bus. And just like, and that's, as you were saying there, like, things, it is ramping up pretty quickly in the background, which is nice. Like, a lot of this movie, and it showcases it from the outset, it's character focused. Things are happening behind them, and it's a nice kind of pace of that escalating out of control. So Sam is on the bus listening to music on her iPod, and she sees people starting to move towards the back of the bus to look out the back window, and you're like, here's we're going to get our glorious reveal. And it's a great shot where you just see people looking out the back of the window, and the camera tilts up, and you just see fucking lots of debris and madness just falling across the sky, and just starts to hit the fucking ground in front of them. And it quickly becomes quite a scene of carnage where she gets out of the bus, and I love the very 9/11 ominous shots when you're in New York and you're in a street and there's just dust everywhere and you just can't fucking see anything, and people are kind of coming in and out of the dust, shell shocked.
I really appreciated that, because I think that a lot of because these things have literally come from fucking outer space, and then smashed into the ground, or meteors full of these alien things have hit the city, and they're all over the fucking place. And a lot of movies, when you might see a bit of rubble, like say Superman, Superman, Man of Steel, which I really like. Yeah. Even they're tearing apart the city, and there's rubble and stuff on the ground, but you can still see clearly everything that's going on and happens in Pacific Rim and a few other ones like that, where cities are getting destroyed, but people can still see what's going on. It's like, no,
Yeah.
really, what would happen is when buildings and the ground are literally getting
Can't see a fucking
destroyed,
thing.
this dust would be everywhere. I mean, you saw the horrible attack on 9/11. That like what that fucking thing was like after you see the scenes, the camera, no one could see a fucking thing, and that's what it should look like. And so I really appreciated that, and I think it helped them a lot as well. I'd imagine budget wise and effect wise. Yeah,
it's very realistic, and also helps that they don't have to cut off an entire fucking street in New York or somewhere that looks like New York. But it is. It's very harrowing straight away, and like we see, and it works well, like a movie like The Mist or something, where you work with the kind of dust and mist where you can't see anything, like people coming in and out shell shocked, but then people on the ground when she sees them, and then getting dragged off into the dust, and it's it's pretty awful. But then we see a fantastic, and this is another thing where the dust helps the budget, where we get a fantastic kind of reveal of the shape of one of the creatures that she's hiding behind a car or something. You just see it's not revealed completely, but you just see the kind of silhouette outline in the dust and the sound, and it's just coming closer, and it's just like, oh fucking, here we go. I love that stuff when they just don't show you it all at once, and they don't need to, which is brilliant. And then a creature attacks an ambulance or something, and there's just a massive explosion, and Sam is just shot back through some doors of a shop, and we cut to black, and then that's when we get our title card, Quiet Place Part or Day One, and just like, oh yeah, like that's, as intros go, that's fantastic. And now we're kind of into the story, and it's what you said that earlier, that it happened so quickly. I'd read online that there are some people saying that they were annoyed that this was going to show them what happened before before A Quiet Place, and whatever it is. Quiet Place is like, is it 3 months after this event or something like that?
Yeah,
83 days or something.
They show it, yeah.
But some people were saying that it's too quick. You don't see enough of what happened and what was the aftermath, what was the reaction of people and stuff. And again, it's I think these people are missing the point that this is not that movie. Like, this is not a movie where you're seeing the military tactics or what's going on or how they fight them. That's not it. That movie's happening somewhere else, while this movie is just telling it from the point of view of these few characters. I thought it was just an excellent opening to set the scene. I thought it was really, really, really good. And the fact that it's going to be such a personal story, I think, just works so well. But then Sam wakes up in a theater, and she's surrounded by people in silence in the theater, obviously. There's one thing I didn't know how quickly they realized, or everyone realized, that it's all about sound. Was that something that was very evident, or like in a panic state? It's kind of, do you cop that on, or do you just, how are you the quiet one when everyone else is getting eaten alive, and you kind of go, oh, maybe I shouldn't be farting. It's just everyone who farts has been murdered. That was one bit where I'm just like, okay, but again, it's very easily explained. Like, off camera, it doesn't need to be fed to us. But it's such a harrowing scene in here where you see people who are obviously hurt and in distress, and they're just biting their hands and stuff not to fucking make a fucking sound when you're just in agony and pain. And it's just like, oh, it's just it's just great. And she's reunited with her cat, or whatever this fucking non-meowing creature is. It's it's unbelievable. But she kind of she tries to get out of there, and there's a standoff in the theater lobby, and the creature, I think, hears the cat, or the cat hits a little bell or something, and we see one of the creatures enter into the theater lobby, and we see the face close up, and it's just fucking terrifying. Like, it's probably there's a few moments where they really show the creature design really up close and personal.
Yeah.
And they obviously spent a few quid on that, because I thought it was, it just looked really good, and looked like, that's fucking scary. Not like when we were talking about Arcadian, where you're seeing the creature up close, and it's kind of like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? It's kind of scary, but it's also silly. This just looks fucking terrifying. Yeah, and that's that scene in the theater. There's a helicopter outside, distracts that creature, and then we hear a fucking herd of them tearing down the street off camera. And it's a good use of sound design and noise when it's just the thrashing and thudding of just fucking, yeah, like a horde of them outside. It's just like, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
but that's the thing about it is that's one of the things that bothered me about it is that they're tearing past and like geez, it just shows the volume of these things that are out there. They're after tearing the place apart to the point where the city is silent, because it's but every noise they jump on it, obviously. But when we go through the movie, and as we've seen the first, you kind of let them away with it in the first two movies because they're in the rural area, but and we don't know how far these things have spread, but we're in the city, and as things go for them, when they're walking down the street, like when he has to go out later on to do something, or when she's walking, they're nowhere to be seen. That's only when they're making
what's going on.
It's like they're not trying to. They're just strolling in the street. Everything's fine. You don't see them anywhere. But when they make a noise, then of course they come out. So where you don't? I want to know where the fuck
nowhere and tear someone off their face. It's just like where were they?
We don't see them like when they're walking down. When she sees these kids under the waterfall, when she all these different parts of it, they are nowhere to be seen until someone makes a noise. I'm like, if there's that many of them, surely they're just wandering the street, or you might see one hanging from a ceiling or something. But they're not there unless someone makes a sound, which I just thought was a bit weird.
It's like it's a common movie trope that just even the greatest directors still kind of use it, where if you logically think about it, it makes no sense. It's like with this, where where's the creature, and then someone makes a sound, and a split second later, bang, they're gone. Just like, where the fuck was he? It's like you take Christopher Nolan and The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight when he faced off with the Joker at the charity event, and he's like, "Ooh, I like you," and then you just wait till you get a load of me. And it's just like, have you been standing there all the time while I was delivering this line? Wait to get a load of me. Who's the guy in the bathroom standing there?
Did no one go, oh, thank God Batman's here?
He's behind you. It's just, but it's just like, oh, it works for dramatic effect, but it's kind of ridiculous. But so we, Sam then cleans herself up, and we see her taking off her used kind of patch in the bathroom. She needs meds, and we see someone in the theater is listening to radio broadcasts from the military saying, get off the bridges and stay in cover under rescue. And then they all go up to the rooftop, and we get a lovely scene again. This CGI spent well, where we see missiles coming in and hitting and destroying all the bridges around Manhattan. So they're fucked essentially.
They must have realized pretty quick that these things can't cross the water or something along those lines, that they decided, let's keep them in this, keep them in the bridges. Yeah. That's it. They can't make it across. So they realized that pretty within the first whatever at the time. But I suppose when we know that it's happened all over the world, because we see showing that these things are. Yeah. So I wonder if it's a case that international, people were talking to each other and going, look, here's a bit of information. We've noticed that they can't get across water, and that just, it spreads like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like that's a cool shot. It's actually in the trailer, the one of the plane blowing up the bridges.
And we're introduced to Jimon Hansu reprising his role. I can't remember his character name, but on the roof there's I would say a nice moment, but it's another harrowing moment where there's one guy freaking out on the roof when he's seeing the bridges, like, oh, we're fucked, and he's just Jimon is telling him, like, shut up, you need to be fucking quiet, and he's so incensed by his that he's going to make a noise that he ends up just smacking his head against a wall and accidentally fucking killing him. It's like, you don't know your own strength, buddy. But it's just to kind of go, oh, it's a bit chaotic, and the scene doesn't really lead to anything that moment. But but the cat. Do you want to talk about the cat?
The cat doesn't make any sense. Like, this cat doesn't, like,
except for the Frodo joke.
No, like, and the fact, like, it's a cat on a leash, which first of all just bothers me in general. But but the fact that I don't think it meows for the entire movie. Like, it doesn't meow. So it's a mute cat, but it also seems to be incredibly intelligent to the point of, is the movie about him kind of thing, like
it follows the plot. Yeah, it knows exactly where to be.
Yeah, and also can apparently knows when to hold its breath underwater for lengths of time. It's it's just weird. Like, he seems he's leading characters certain places. He shows up. It's just He's almost like this extra character in the movie and of his own.
I
and
thought
it's
I missed something at the start. Like when it was halfway through the movie, and I was just going, "This fucking cat!" Like I've had numerous cats over my life, and still have. Like I've been outnumbered in my house by cats most of my life, and they, as cool as they are, they do their own thing. They're fucking annoying, whiny little fuckers. You know what I mean? They're just, yeah, get off the couch. I was sitting there, that kind of shit. And I thought, did I miss something at the start where maybe there was something that was a mute cat or couldn't. It's in a movie like this, you'd imagine that if there's an animal in it, they're going to play in some way that it's something with sound with the animal, or the animal's deaf, or something. But it's just someone. It's like someone said, "Stick a fucking cat in there. That'll make people like her." Like the character. It's pointless, and it's not exactly, doesn't have one of those save the cat moments where I thought if they went down this route, you're dropping 2 stars straight away. No, we need to go back and save Frodo. Fuck off.
Did they just do it so they can make the Sam and Frodo joke? Like, is that it? Like,
it probably went over most people's heads anyway.
Just
one line.
I really didn't. I really didn't care for the cat. I don't think he wasn't integral to the plot. Didn't need to be in the movie at all. Really. Yeah.
But anyway, we get a nice moment between Ruben and Samira, as she says she's heading off now. She's heading to Harlem to get that pizza, and very swiftly after that, Ruben rushes off to deal with something to do with the generators making some noise, and in the process makes a sound and gets himself killed kind of quick and violently. And Sam is distraught. So that was a cool death. It was just a nice one of those. Again, it comes out of fucking nowhere, but it's nice, and you can see she's properly distraught, and it's that just played on their relationship a bit, where you're going, poor Ruben, but yeah, where's the cat
again? But again though, that I think there's the kind of inconsistencies there as well, though, because like what's happened is this is a backup generator, so the main power electricity grid has obviously gone out. This gas fucking power generator comes on. It's making tons of noise. They're like, oh shit, we got to turn this off. So he's going in and he's squeezing behind him, and he turns the handle and it turns it off, right? And then this thing comes fucking flying in, but it knows to go straight for him. Like, these things can't see; they only go by sound. And yet the generator was the big fucking monstrous thing making all the noise. He's just standing there, but it knows to go. Why does it pick him and not the actual thing?
There could be a cool scene where something where noise happens and someone just moves it just to the left, and the thing just fucking flies by them and scrapes their shoulder or something like that.
Well,
get out of the line of sight.
Well, it's happening in the thing. They're like the characters are being chased, and so they're fucking bricks through windows of cars to set the alarm off. So the monsters go after the alarm in the car instead of the person that's running away.
Yeah,
and so obviously they just go after sound. Anything that moves gets destroyed. But again, that's why cars are getting attacked, the buses, and they're chasing after the sound of helicopters flying over. But when it comes flying in for him, it's the generator that was making the noise. He's not moving. He's not making a noise, yet it knows to go straight for him when it comes in. Yeah. There's just a weird bit of consistency there about what exactly sets them off.
And I think, like, the more this movie went on, I was thinking it just carry around a bag of pebbles, and you could probably traverse the place pretty quickly, because it's not like you can't see them, but they can appear within seconds. So just have a few pebbles and fuck them down off cars, and like, scot-free, no bother. But so yeah, anyway, Samira leaves and walks through the city, and we get some lovely, again, flexing their budget muscles here, where we get some lovely shots of the aftermath, just like destroyed streets covered in dust and debris, and she scavenges for supplies, and it's a lovely little kind of throwaway scene, but we see the simple effort of her trying in terror to try and open a simple tin of cat food or something, and it's just being as quiet as you can. But again, there's that inconsistency where she's worried about a tin of cat food, but later on people are walking around the streets and with their footsteps, and they're not really hearing footsteps. But anyway, then on the streets we come to a skip passes a bit where she finds 2 kids hiding under a fountain, and she gives them food and stuff. And there's a nice moment where once they're underwater, it plays on later on. Once you're under kind of water, the noise of water, you can actually talk, which is kind of cool. But on the streets, we see a load of survivors start to make their way down the streets to an evacuation point, and Samira tells the kids to go with them, but then she heads in the opposite direction. she's going to Harlem, get some fucking pizza, man. We get some nice shots of her going against the crowd. I always love those where you see one person walking against
Yeah.
a crowd. But obviously it's getting a little bit noisy because there's fucking hundreds of them. You're just like, surely, lads, there's going to be one dickhead who just farts or sneezes or something. It's all getting a little noisy. And this is probably their kind of main action scene where things just go absolute fucking tits up here, and everyone gets attacked and fucking devoured by these mad fuckers, and Samira gets stuck under a car and she escapes, and you see cars getting thrown into crowds and explosions and deaths, and it's just, it's pretty fucking full on. And Samira finds an alleyway to escape it all and sits down. It's very Children of Men vibes here in terms of the like long single take kind of tracking shots. I thought that was great. But it's here then we're introduced to Eric, who he's a man who emerges from a submerged subway entrance, and he sees the cat. He's just like, oh, hey. I think like the cat was waiting for him. And Samira and Eric meet here. And as we touched on, their chemistry is just, it gets better and better and better, like to incredibly lofty heights. But even from the outset, it's a great fucking pairing. They have really great energy together. Like he's just kind of shell shocked and just fucking all over the place, and she's telling him like, get lost, like, don't follow me, but he follows her anyway. What did you think about their introduction? It's great.
I loved it because I think and I think that she's been in hospice. She's terminal, and that's why she's in hospice. So she knows she's coming to the end of her life, and though she's being careful to open cans and stuff like that, at the same time there's an acceptance there. Like who the fuck is going to get pizza at the end of the world? Like that's what she's kind of going to do. So she's real. So she has almost this streetwise vibe about her, whereas he is just, as most people would be, fucking terrified. Just aliens tearing people apart. He doesn't know anything else to do except to follow her. So he's just kind of following. She's kind of turning around as if she's been followed by a lost dog, saying, just go away. And he just keeps following after her because he just doesn't know what else to do. He's completely lost. He plays
and so well, though. You can get that so wrong. Like in most characters
I wasn't sure. I thought maybe that he was some sort of like learning disability, or was there something like that with him, because he just almost seemed like a mute, and he was just kind of following her, and I was like, it's interested to see how this plays out. Then you realize, no, it's just full on shock. He doesn't know what to do, so he's just, I'm just going to follow her. And well, it's fantastic from the get go. Like, because if their relationship doesn't work, this movie doesn't work. So
100%.
It's just, I was straight away on board for the two of them. I thought they were great together, and I loved the relationship growing, because, as you said, he's only coming into it now. So the relationship that grows and grows, whatever. Yeah, it's only 100-minute movie or whatever it is. That the way it grows and evolves in such a short space of movie time is really, really good. I loved him. He was such a likable character,
and that's the likable is the best thing, because you're with him straight away. And it's so many movies play up on this, like, oh, there's animosity and then they reconcile or whatever. This kind of, we always use movie tropes or character arc tropes or whatever, but it's not needed here. It's just like the scenario is the tension. They're not at odds with each other. She's just like, I want to do my own fucking thing, go away. And he's just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm following you, like, because this is, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And he says to her, like, he's like, when she says go to the evacuation point, and he's just going, like, I'm just really scared of dying here, and that just tugs on her heartstrings again. So they end up teaming up, and they get to Sam's apartment, where she's looking for her meds because she's telling him, like, her muscles are on fire and stuff, and she conveys that decaying element very, like, with such poignancy, I guess. I mean, she's obviously fucking really hurting inside. And Eric says that he's at law school and his family are back in England, and this scene is probably the highlight of the movie, where he starts to read some of her poetry as they're sitting down, and there's a thunderstorm outside, and he's reading a poem she wrote about, counting down like years to months to seconds, and he starts to tear up, and it's brilliant. But then they both let out fucking big giant screams when they time it with the thunder, which is just fucking. I just thought it was an absolutely beautiful scene, and he asks, "Can he go get pizza with her?" And it's just like, this is fucking great. Like, just bring it on. And then they fall asleep for a little nap. But you're kind of going, you hope he's not a snorer. You know what I mean? It's just like, do you have a tendency to sleepwalk? He's fucking hell. But Samira wakes up then, and she heads off alone through the streets as Eric sleeps, and she stops to read a book and turns around. Eric has been following her, and he gives her back her like book of poems that he took from the apartment, which is nice. And then they, for the sake of an action scene, they make a noise and they leg it into a building, and aliens drop down and chase them. They barely escape, but then they venture down into a subway. And straight away I was thinking, obviously, you're trying to get away from what's on the surface, but with all the ambient sound on the surface, you kind of seem to get away with a bit more. The minute you go down the subway, it's like you can't fucking breathe loud, and you're fucked. So just like I understand why they're down there, because there's actually a great shot, a lovely wide shot of where you see one of the fucking creatures coming down the subway escalator, kind of after them, and it's just like fucking hit the span of his fucking limbs and stuff. It is obviously like you're not going to try and sneak past him. You're back up to the surface, but yeah, the minute you're going into the subway, that's when, like, I'm good in terms of horror stuff when it's kind of above ground and stuff, like Supernatural we talked about that I don't really like, but when you go down into like subway tunnels and stuff, like the movie The Descent back in the day, when it's just, when it gets a bit claustrophobic, it's like, ooh, fuck. But yeah, it's very, very quiet down there, and the subway is of course flooded, which is a fucking disaster. And at this point we must mention the cat's with them, hasn't even purred. That's the thing. Like, you kind of like, you don't want the cat to be pissed off and meow, but you don't want to give it too much attention in case it kind of goes, "Hey, I like you." No, you don't. You get fucking hell. It's just silly idea having a cat in this movie. But yeah, the water get up to their neck, and Eric starts to freak out, as you would, and he's obviously making too much noise. It kind of conveys that well, where it's like, it's not one of those stupid moments you're like, "Will you just be fucking quiet?" He's kind of like, you can see he's kind of trying to, but he's panicking. He's like, having a panic attack. And it's just, he just, like, both of them do so much, even when there's no dialogue. It's a lot of like body language and reactionary acting, which they both excel on. An alien chases them down the tunnel and underwater, and they barely escape. And the cat makes it underwater, and still hasn't meowed. I know if the cat does meow and they end up in a fucking run for their lives, you're probably going, you need to just snap that cat's neck or just fucking throw it away.
But it's not just that. Like, we don't, like, they're under the water and they have to fucking swim to get up out of the the other side of the tunnel. The aliens obviously are, so like they can't take a lick of it. Like, that alien drowns in less time than your one in fucking under Paris last week. Like, he's gone a couple of seconds. But when they get up on the other side, and they obviously want to let us know the cat's okay, so we pan around to get a shot of the cat. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a cat after it's been given a bath, but they are just, they're like that. They're so skinny, the fucking thing that they're just, it's the same as a dog. Once they're drenched, the fur has gone down on them, and you see what the actual body looks like. This cat looks like it's semi-dry already. Like, it does a little bit of a shake, but it's fucking fur for the most part. It only looks like it's slightly damp. It's like, this cat's been under the fucking water.
Yeah, they just sprayed him with a bit of fucking
They've
water.
swam. They didn't say hold your breath first, we're going under or anything. They just went straight into the water. So it's again, there's so if this cat was out of it, like half a star is off the movie for me because of this fucking cat. It's just it's so annoying.
No cats were harmed in the making of this movie. But after they escape all that, they get to shelter, and Eric asks what medication she needs, and he goes out and ventures into the city. And so there's some more fantastic apocalyptic city street scenes. It's the only way you can kind of describe them. Just looks fucking cool. You know what I mean? Less is more. Just everything just looks fucked. But yeah, he's obviously, this is a bit of his story arc. He's trying to show his bravery, to try and repay her for saving him. although literally like 3 minutes ago he's fucking having an absolute shit fit in the tunnel, but fair play to him, but but the cat follows him, and you're just kind of going, fuck it. If I turned around, I'd be like, get the fuck, you fuck off.
You're
like,
gonna get me killed.
I'm terrified. You fuck off, you fucking. And also, like, is Sam not looking for the cat? Like, why? Yeah, yeah. My main issue is where, why, and what the cat is doing at any given time in this movie. And he gets stuck in a situation in a derelict building with some.
But can I ask about that though? Because he's gone into the pharmacy and he goes in and he's looking around with his little torch and he finds the medication that she needs, which is these pain patches like fentanyl, whatever it is, patches that she needs. But they're going to, and again, this is the cat's fault. So the cat, he's walking back, and the cat is the one that takes the detour into the building site. And when they go in, it's not just the building site. Yeah, it's a whole thing it's where one of the meteors have hit, because we see the aliens, we see that
everywhere and everything.
Yeah, and we see these weird kind of spores, these mushroomy kind of things and the aliens get and they start eating out of them. So because you don't see them eating humans, they obviously don't eat humans, they just kill them. But this must be their food for whatever reason. Is this mushroom thing, and they're tearing them up. But the only reason that he has to go into this building site is he's going, cat, fucking cat, let's go and get the cat, and he's climbing up these girders to try and get to the fucking cat.
I'd be like, Jesus, fuck off, cat. You've made your choice.
Because if this cat is as smart as supposedly they're making out, then why the fuck is it leading them into this fucking horribly dangerous place? I don't know what the reason was for that scene. Really, was it just to give us more insight?
That was in my notes straight away. I was just going, this is absolutely you've conveyed his bravery and his arc of trying to repay Sam for helping him. He's going to try and help her, and it's lovely, and it's going to increase their bond and move things forward. But the cat is a plot point here, and there's fucking no need for it. Only to show, like, obviously he climbs up to try and save the cat, climbs up a metal fucking girder, and you just go, what are you doing? Like, but we get obviously when the aliens comes down, here's a noise again, quiet noise, action, and we get a close up of, like, an extreme close up of the fucking alien's head coming right up beside Eric, and it looks fucking cool, and you get a look at the inner workings of the kind of sonic resonator or whatever is in their throat, and it's just like, oh fucking hell. But straight away I was just going, this is like, it's pointless, and the scene's only in there to we've got 5 million left in the budget, let's fucking show a close up of the alien's throat, and it's the cat's fault, whatever. But but he returns with her meds anyway, and they share another lovely moment where she tells him about her father, and used to play piano at a jazz club, and they used to get pizza afterwards in a place called Patsy's in Harlem, and you're going, that's it, that's how she wants to get pizza, because she's dying. She's like, fuck it, I want to get some pizza and just reminisce about my pops. And Eric asks, where is he? And she said, like, he died like I'm dying now. And he delivers a zinger. It's just like, not before we get some pizza. And you're like, oh, it's just the heartstrings are, you're going to get me, guys. You're going to get me. It's just a lovely scene. It's so touching. It's just, it builds so confidently on their relationship that it's not too saccharine or anything like that. It's just so believable that they just, that's the kind of interaction that they'd have. It's, but again, how many times have we said in this podcast about movies that people just don't talk like normal human beings? And even in this crazy, devastating scenario that you can't even imagine, they're speaking like I think people would speak. It's like, if there's aliens invading your city, premise, isn't it? Like... and your mate who's dying of cancer, and you're just like, that's probably how I talk to you. It's really nice. So they and it's great use of the score here as well, because a lot of this movie is great sound design and stuff, but the score comes in every now and then, and it's not too emotional or whatever, but when it just comes in, it's just a few notes and it just resonates enough where you're just like, it's just, I thought it was really, really, really nice. And then they leave. I think they were in a church. They leave the church together, and we get more lovely shots of the city, like empty basketball courts and chess tables and ravaged empty streets. It's just, it just looks really cool. And then they get the Patsy's Pizza, which is burned down. It's like, fuck's sake, these guys cannot catch a break. And Sam breaks down in tears, and Eric asks, where did your dad play piano? Like, we'll go there. So they go to kind of pub venue place, and
And yeah,
Eric.
this was my favorite scene.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
my
when,
favorite
yeah.
scene.
He goes
Yeah.
out to get
Mm.
pizza. Yeah, tell us a bit about
Yeah,
this.
it's
Yeah,
well,
it's nice.
it's just gorgeous, and as you said, the music is just wonderful in it because they're going in and she's sitting down having a drink and she's looking at these. There's a photo of her dad and everything on the wall for when he was there and she was there with him in this pub. And he goes off to get like I loved that they do this kind of little performance thing. It's maybe the one trick he knows, but he brings her up onto the stage. They have to stay quiet. They've got a piano there that they can't play and all this stuff. But I loved that he leads her up onto the stage to do like he basically does a magic trick. He gets her to pick a card, and the whole thing while he's doing it, he's pretending like he's talking to or looking at the audience, and he's pointing at her like she's the assistant and getting her to pick a card. And it's just this whole wonderful thing of like a performance that's happening, and it's very similar to the marionette thing at the start. You know, there's a lovely swell of music to it. It's really nicely shot, and it's a show to an empty pub, you know, but it's just the two of them having this moment of levity and the horrible shit that's happening outside. And like that, and obviously when he finds another pizza place, you know, down the road, and he brings that back in the box, and he just writes Patsy's on it, you know, and hear them have a
little moments
pizza kind of in silence, and and it's really solidifying that kind of relationship that they've built because she's not only she's tried to leave him, you know, when she leaves the apartment the first time, but now you know you can see there's actual moments between the two of them. She really cares about him now. You know, they've developed this in such a short space of time. This relationship was growing between the two of them, and I absolutely loved that scene. I loved that it was daytime. I loved the light that was coming into the pub, gorgeous. And it's for me it was an absolutely beautiful scene. I was choked up watching it, going, "This is hats off to them because this is absolutely gorgeous." Yeah, it was really good.
And and one thing that struck me in that scene is that you get a sense it's more like it's the harrowing scenario that they're in and everything, and she's dying, but you get a sense of what their life could have been in a different take, you know, a different world where different time if they met each other under different circumstances. They just hit it off. It's like a Richard Linklater movie or something, you know. Their relationship is so natural and just if someone said they were just ad-libbing stuff, you'd believe it, you know. It's really fucking cool. But then they leave the venue, and we see that there is a rescue barge on the river, but there are aliens and creatures kind of all around. So this is where I was thinking about have a bag of stones and just, you know, you make your path there, no fucking problem. But Samira gives
it is cool though watching them all stalk the side of the river because you can't get into the water, like, you know. I'd be terrified. If I was on that boat, I'd be giving them the fucking finger, flashing my arse at them. Loser.
Women and children first. I
dare you to swim over here. No, I don't mean it, damn, I'm the aliens. I dare you to swim over.
Bring it on, come on.
You pussy.
But Samira, Sam gives Eric the cat and just says run, and she legs it off, smacking cars as a distraction. And here, another slight inconsistency. It's a nice scene, nice sentiment, and all this stuff. But there's an inconsistency here because she's in a bad state. And she can't really move
dying of cancer.
Well. Yeah. I know what I mean, in terms of mobility and stuff. She's like,
that's what I mean. Like, she's literally dying of cancer. The way she walks, everything throughout the movie is a shuffling thing. But now, there's aliens coming from everywhere, and she's managing to distract them the whole while she's running. It's like, surely more fit and healthier people would have survived then if that's all you need to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And she's doing this, and obviously Eric and Frodo, to give him his full title, are making a beeline for the barge, and he makes a little noise. And again, there's discrepancy here. I know it works for the plot and narrative and thrusting everything forward, but it's like she's making an absolute ruckus. And they're all over near her, and he makes a small little noise on his way with the cat, and they all just like, hold on, and they all just fucking turn around and just, let's get him. Just going, and in terms of like audible, like, what are you going to fucking go for, the really loud thing or the small little thing? It just, it doesn't really make too much sense. But Eric just, he legs it with the cat, and they tear after him, and it's a nice shot when he dives into the water. They almost fucking get him with the fucking claws, and It's great. Gets into the water and swims all the way over to the barge, which Jimon Honsu is on. And it's fucking great. And Sam looks on with tears in her eyes. And obviously, you wouldn't have wanted her to go out just by being absolutely ravaged by people while she's running away, fucking setting off car alarms. It's not exactly cinematic and poignant. But she, she looks on.
I suppose we should say before here that when they're about to make when they first leave the boozer outside, they've kind of swapped coats. She's wearing a kind of big his kind of outer coat, and he's now wearing this yellow cardigan thing that she's been wearing the whole time.
That's why, exactly. Because, so he finds a note in her cardigan pocket that he's wearing, which is another. It's just like, oh god, it's just very close to tears. Where she thanks him for bringing her home and thanks him for helping her to live again. And just like, oh Jesus Christ. And,
I'm getting upset now just fucking thinking about the note.
It's fucking beautiful, and that's when this is happening. She's sitting in her apartment looking at pictures of her and her dad smiling, and she's crying, and it's like, oh fucking hell, this is like so fucking poignant. And then we see a lovely kind of final shot where she just walks out into the street and she has her headphones on, and then she pulls out the headphone jack really loudly.
It's Nina Simone, isn't it? She listens to.
And she pulls it out really loudly, and obviously she creates some noise, and she just stops and looks. One of those lovely, just looks into fucking camera eyes, her gorgeous face, beautiful eyes. Right into camera, and you just see an alien just drop behind her, and then we cut to black, and it's like, oh, yes, you fucking nailed the ending. You nailed the ending.
It was perfect. Yeah,
perfect. She's absolutely perfect. Even though that's, I don't know how loud that is. Like, but anyway, inconsistency.
No, it's not. It's not. That's not the noise of it. It's she's been listening to it through the headphones that are going into. It's a little boombox. It's got speakers on it. So now it's gone from headphone. No, so it's gone from. She pulls it out of the thing she's carrying around, so it's turned into speakers basically. Perfect, so that's what's drawing them. Like, yeah.
But it's just it's a whopper ending, and it's perfect. You're almost, if you're 1 or 2 seconds ahead, you're just kind of going, please cut to black, cut to black, cut to black. Yeah.
It's almost as soon as the thing fucking lands behind her. Bang. Bang. It's such an enjoyable ending. Satisfying, very satisfying ending.
Yeah. Like straight away I was like, that was fucking good. It was scary enough in places, but again, it's not really about that. And I guess the alien kind of creatures are the not the worst thing in it, but they're the least entertaining or engaging thing in the movie. They are kind of background to the central characters, which is how it should be, I think, in a movie like this. But yeah, I thought it was a great prequel and a great addition to the franchise as a whole, even though it's getting a little bit tired in terms of the, quiet noise action kind of thing. But for a movie that didn't have any, like, that was complete deviation from the first two in terms of setting, I think it worked. It was a very good way that they decided to go down.
Well, this is what I was going to say, that this reminds me of just what you were talking about at the start, and you were making the point about people who were upset about the direction that this was, because like you said, it's a different movie. Like, they're talking about like Independence Day, when they all have to fucking sending their thing around, that this is how we're going to take them down, and it's fucking fucking it's England, it's America, it's all these things are working together to take down this aliens who are all over the world, and there's action fucking everywhere. That's the movie that they thought they were going to get. The day one thing, what happened to get to that point? What are the fucking generals and the armies and fucking the different agencies working together to destroy them and all that? But I think that's what people were hoping for, or expecting. Whereas, no, they've managed to do what is essentially a very enclosed movie, a very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? But anyway, you know what I mean? A very enclosed movie in a massive city where they're, which could have been apocalyptic, blah, 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 but the use of the dust, as we said earlier, and the small sets where they're either inside the pub, they're inside the church, they're inside her apartment, it's really kept enclosed, and I really appreciated that. I thought, it was a very clever way of doing it. The only things that are taking the stars off for me are the cat. Yeah, he wasn't needed at all, and I think definitely took away from it. And then just some of the inconsistencies regarding the sound and the monsters and stuff themselves. But apart from that, it was thoroughly enjoyable. And I know for you, as you said, regarding scares, for me, I think there was only one actual jump scare.
Yeah.
And that was when she wakes up. She's having a dream, which we don't realize at the start, but it's daytime after the storm. And in the window, you can see there's vehicles moving outside. I was like, oh, is this a flashback or is it a dream or what is it? And then all of a sudden, one of them appears at the window, one of the monsters, and she wakes up and it was a dream. But that was, I think that might have been the only really jump scare.
It's just situational tension that is.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, I didn't need any kind of jump scares. It's just when the deaths happen, there's no they're not hanging on and waiting to build a music score to give you a fucking jump scare. It's just like, oh, you made a noise, you're fucked. Bang, you're fucked. It's like, okay. Yeah, it's just terrifying. The sound design more than anything is scarier. That's one of the things where I was like, I saw it on screen 12 in Cineworld, which is one of those screens that's got an aisle up the middle. Just like, oh, fuck. When you see the seating plan, when you're booking, you're just like, oh, fuck's sake. It's one of these tiny things. Just like the best seat isn't there. You know? I can't sit in the middle of the theater to fucking see the movie. But I would love to see it in IMAX for the sound. Of course I did. Some of the sound design was excellent, but it obviously it would have been 11 out of 10 on the scale in fucking IMAX. But
disgusted at how few people were in my showing for it. Like I saw it in IMAX on Friday evening, and I thought, well, fucking, Friday evening there'll be plenty of other losers like me who don't go drinking who will be here. And no, there was barely anybody there. There was obviously some sort of there was a big release, I think, of, because they show a lot of movies in Hindi in there. And I think that so there must have been a showing because there's tons of people who were going into one of those screenings. And the screening that I was in, there was not even half full. Like it was not even a third full, I wouldn't say. Like, yeah,
that's definitely a topic for another day about cinemas. And like, I can't remember the last time I was in a fucking cinema that was more than a quarter packed. Just kind of like going, what the fuck? Like,
maybe it was the Late Night with the Devil that only had like fucking 16 seats or something.
15 people out of 16 seats. 98% capacity. Yeah, probably made about 200 quid in that cinema alone. Like. But yeah, I'd give it 4 stars. Yeah, I thought it was really solid, really entertaining movie. Just too much cat, and just too much cat.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would recommend it to anybody who's listening. Definitely check it out. It's just don't go in thinking that you're gonna get the big. Like I think like it was reminding me a little bit of like Reign of Fire. The posters for Reign of Fire way back when had like, Apache helicopters
and stuff.
Yeah, Apache helicopters. I was like, holy shit, man, this is going to be dragons against helicopters. That sounds fucking amazing. And no, not so much. So if you're going into it thinking you're getting a big, huge end of the world battle kind of thing, you're not going to see that. It's the story with the two of them, and it's totally worth it for their performances. So yeah, look, that's the end of the movie review, and it's the end of our episode. So as always, thanks for stopping by and thanks for listening. Keep that feedback coming, whether it's comments on what we're doing or sharing or anything, that kind of stuff. That all of it, any little bit helps us out. So keep it coming, and we look forward to bringing you something else next week. So take it easy.
See you later.